tell me, what do you want from me? That was kind of off-key. Hello, world of YouTube. Welcome to the A's to your Q's. This is the second part of my Q&A segment from a couple of weeks ago. We're going to answer your questions. We're going to start with Twitter and then move on to the video comments. Let's fucking go. First question, of course, comes from Nick Michi Darko. The real Meech. Best Five Guys burger, toppings and all. For those who don't know, I used to work at Five Guys Burgers and Fries, where I developed a huge taste for the burgers more. I already loved the burgers, but eating them like once a day, I kind of honed in, laser focused on what I would say is the best burger, which to me is cheeseburger with ketchup, mayo, green peppers, onions. You can fry them or you can have them raw, whatever fits your fancy. Tomato, light barbecue sauce, and that's it. You can spice it up with a little bit of mushroom if you want. You can add a little A1 with the barbecue. You don't want to go too heavy on the barbecue because the barbecue gets a little runny. So you want a light barbecue. And that is the grade A Five Guys Burgers and Fries burger. Next question comes from Matt Yenter, KLM Stars. Genuinely curious to know what your favorite Jay-Z project is. I don't talk about Jay-Z. For a dude who loves hip-hop, talks a lot about the genre on his channel. I haven't really given a whole lot of time to Jay-Z, which is not all that surprising. I dig me some Jay-Z. And it's funny, because shortly after this tweet was asked, Kaylin, my green apple, asked me what I thought of Jay-Z. I like Jay-Z. I think he's a really good rapper. I just think he's tremendously overrated. That being said, he does have some really good shit in his catalog. And I would say my favorite Jay-Z project is the Black Album. Hands down. The most consistent project, the one with the most bangers, the one with the best hook work. Just such a good record. It was supposed to be Jay-Z's last record, and he went out his first time with a fucking bang. That's not to say everything post Black Album has been a travesty. I actually like a handful of projects post Black Album, not limited to 444. So I think he's got a good tenure as an artist. I just again think he's incredibly overrated. Last question comes from JC Lexicon, good old Josh Weinberg. Got the deep cut people coming in. KLM, JC, I'm so glad y'all have been sticking around for so goddamn long, and it's so beautiful. But Josh Weinberg asks, joke question, will you be doing a SpongeCore track someday? He really liked the alternate take review I did earlier in the year. No, I think SpongeCore was fine at its time. Doesn't really hold a place in the modern joke music landscape, IMO. Actual question, would you consider branching out into some sort of cooking side series? The drink pairings and drunk anime reviews brought that to mind. Funny you ask, because currently on my Patreon, patreon.com/VowelRack, linked in the description, I have a stretch goal of $200 a month. And when I reach that stretch goal, I will be making a cooking miniseries based on a little thing that I teased in my initial vinyl album update. It's a Deltron 3030 vinyl that I have that has a bunch of recipes, and when I reach that stretch goal, I'll start making those recipes, and filming it, and talking about it on here in a bi-monthly segment. So if you want to make that segment a reality for myself and JC Lexicon, check it out, linked in the description, patreon.com/VowelRack. Thank you for your patronage. Now let's go to the video questions. RideRed28 asked, you said very far in the past, like many years ago, that 9 Inch Nails, Metallica, Beck, Rage Against the Machine, and Primus were your top 5 favorite bands. Is that still true? No. Shout out one time to Hannah, Infinity on Hannah's video, where she talks about favorite bands. I think she covers the topic very gracefully, and I think she delves into the idea of growing minds and changing opinions very well. I do still think, if I were to make a top 5 now, 9 Inch Nails, Beck, and Rage Against the Machine would still be on there. I think their catalogs are timeless. A lot of what they say and have made is very good. Metallica's discography is just very inconsistent. I still thank them for shaping my music tastes and giving me a lot of fond memories musically. I still hold Ride the Lightning and Master of Puppets to an incredibly high regard, and I think a handful of their other records are also range from very good and solid to just absolute dog shit. Primus, I do still really love. I'm a big Les Claypool fan. I fucking love Primus. I would say top 20 for sure, favorite bands of all time. But if I were to do like a rough top 5, as of 2019, I do plan on making a video about this to round out like a top 10. But I know that Beck, Rage Against the Machine, Nine Inch Nails would be on there. I'm sure Radiohead would end up in a top 10 somewhere. So would the Gorillaz. And Rush, of course, because I'm a gigantic Rush dork. But, yeah, I do plan on making a video about my top favorite bands that have changed since then. But that'd be a rough, like, those are bands that I hold to a high caliber. I'd say Nine Inch Nails are definitely probably my favorite band now. I'm a big Trent Reznor guy. I always have been, even back then, but even more so now. I just have a lot of respect for the dude, and he's been a huge inspiration to me more so as I've gotten older. He's found a good way of channeling rage in a way that doesn't seem so narrow-minded, and I really love how he does his shit. He also asks, do you still like Saint Anger and think Load is Metallica's worst album? Yes to the second thing. Saint Anger, I still think is very solid. I still think that it's shat on a lot harsher than it really should be. Yes, the production is pretty bad. It's pretty fucking awful. Not Metallica's worst production, but also up there for pretty bad. And yes, the drums are shitty. The lack of solos is restrictive to the creative process. But I do think there's some gems in the mix there. It's still not the best album, but I think that it's a lot better than people give credit. And I think Load is a far worse, misguided, lack of focused, cobbled together mess. CJ asks, why does my butt? You dare sit ask me that? You dare sit ask me you ask me that? Why would you ask me that? That which would you have asked me? Because you watched Neon Genesis Evangelion in one sitting, you fucking asshole. Good old Jonathan Spencer, Zamboni Death Ride, Sal, Musical Buddy, asked, what's a genre fusion that you'd love to see, but you have not? Lounge industrial. Laid back, droning, heavy, thunderous percussion with like a swing and like a lounge aesthetic. That would be pretty cool. That's kind of the big one. I don't know. That's a really hard question to ask because I've listened to a lot of weird music and a lot of weird fusions. But making lounge into something else, I'm all about. Because, I mean, we had Hotel Valentine do that, like infusing elements of Shibuya Kai and hip-hop into a lounge atmosphere. And we had the Arctic Monkeys do a lounge record this year that was really dope. So I'd love to see like an industrial project add some swing to their to their mechanical approach and making a lounge record out of some industrial overtones. And that's it. That's the Q&A. Now before I leave you all today, I have one announcement to make in regards to the channel schedule. My segment Redacted turns a year next month. It's been a very fun segment to make. It's been a very fun segment to contribute to, and a lot of people really seem to dig it as well. And because of that, and because I've been very inspired with that segment, I'm going to be adding it to the once-a-month rotation. So not only will I be dropping listening logs and lists and drunk anime reviews and the stuff I normally post once a month, I'll be adding Redacted into that rotation, pulling it from the bi-monthly rotation. Now I have a segment I want to put in the bi-monthly rotation to compensate for the loss of Redacted, but I will be doing Redacted once a month now, and the next Redacted is going to be on the Weezer's Red Album, or the Red Album by Weezer, Weezer's Red Album. That's what it's going to be on, so hopefully you guys are excited for that. It's going to be dropping within a couple of weeks. I'm really happy with it. It's one of my favorite Redacteds I've ever made, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Thank you so much for watching this. Thank you for everyone who asked questions. I do want to do one of these sooner rather than later. Again, thank you for your support here and on Patreon. I'm going to get out of here. I have been Viral Rack. You guys have been Lessons Situations, and I'll see you another day.